Good afternoon, everyone. This is Queenie Clem with Queenie's Book Talk and Reviews, and I am your literary ambassador. Today, we have Wanda Campbell, who is an author, on my channel today. Welcome, Wanda. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Can you tell us about yourself?
Well, my name is Wanda B. Campbell. I am professionally, I work in healthcare. And then my real stuff that I really enjoy doing, I am a minister. I work in youth leadership at my church. I am also married, been married for 30 years. I have 3 kids, 3 grandkids. Writing is my passion. I write Christian fiction. I have currently 12 titles in print. And I love writing about relationships, and about people with issues, kind of like people like myself who's been through a little things, had a few bumps, in life. And I love mentoring youth and encouraging people to reach their dreams.
All right. What genre do you write in?
I write Christian fiction, or what's become known as inspirational fiction. But to me, it's still Christian fiction. My readers, or my characters, are very real life people, everyday issues like everybody else, but they use their faith, and in my case, their Christian faith, to help overcome their problems.
Okay. How many published books do you have to date?
Currently, I have 12 individual titles, and I'm in at least about maybe 4 anthologies. I have stories in there as well.
Oh, okay. Okay, let's talk about your books. You can up and talk about each book individually.
Okay, each book. Well, I have about 6 here. This is my latest title, Under the Influence. And so this is my first novel that I've written in the perspective of a male. And it talks about Alexander Bennett, his life from childhood into adulthood, and some of the struggles that he faced. And, we're used to reading about women with issues and low self-esteem and all of that stuff, right? Well, this time we take a look at it from a male's perspective and what they go through. And so Alex has many, many layers to him. His parents were married, but his father died when he was a baby. He's biracial. He's mama's love child, the baby and mama's love child. And so he's a little spoiled, and so there's a lot of different dynamics. In some cases, he doesn't fit in. He's too black for some and too white for others. So there's a lot of issues going on here. But this is Alex Bennett's story, Under the Influence. This story here, Back to Me, this is the story of Paige McDaniels, and she's probably like some church folks. If you remember church folks, she finally thinks she's right and everybody else wrong, and so she's become a little judgmental. And in the process, she's kind of lost herself, and she has her skeletons, and she's trying to hide them and work her way to salvation type thing. And so she's become a little special, as I would say. So this is her journey back to finding out who she is, and actually forgetting herself and letting go of her past issues. That's how she does that.
Okay,
a little.
I want to go back and hold that book up a little higher so we can see the full cover. Okay.
Is that better if I do it that way?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And Illusions, which was my actually first mainstream published title. This is a story one would say is taken out of headlines, but truly was not meant to be that way. This is a pastor's struggle with pornography and how he works to get over it. Sometimes it is not, people don't just do things because they want to. Sometimes they really want to stop and they can't. And this is Pastor Hightower as he worked through the root cause of why he's doing what he's doing and how he gets to deliverance. This is Right Package, Wrong Baggage. It's actually a sequel to my first short story, Mommy's Present, which appeared in the Midnight Clear. And this is probably my favorite story. And this is the story of Pamela Roberts and Michael Stevenson. And Pamela is a single mom, and her son Matthew decides to give her the perfect Christmas present, which he wouldn't have found a husband for her. And so this story picks up in that courtship. And it's really interesting. This Micah has a history like everybody else. In fact, they both do. And they quickly realize they are the right package, but both of them have some baggage they need to work through.
Okay.
Okay. Silver lining. This is the story of two friends, and you have a male and a female here because these are both male and female friends in this book. And sometimes people don't understand how Christians can be friends with opposite sex, but these are really true friends here, and they both made some mistakes and they've lost their families in the process, and they meet on their road to recovery. And silver lining goes through the process that they work to restore the relationships that they lost with their families. Okay. And doing me. If there's some people like me who probably grew up in the church, and so when you got an age, it's like, I'm never going back again, and I'm free now, right? So this is the story of Raina. She actually grew up in the church, and this is actually a sequel to Silver Lining, actually. And so she grew up in the church, and now she's been enlightened, let's say. She's gotten hurt and she's angry, but now she's on her way to do her. And you know how sometimes when we decide to do us, we get into a whole lot of trouble we shouldn't fit in. And so this is her story, her journey of getting over her hurts and finding out who she is and getting herself back. Okay. Then I have Unresolved Issues here. Unresolved Issues is a story of Derek and Stacy. Sometimes we can marry the right person, but at the wrong time. Okay. And these two, they married each other, right people, wrong time, and therefore the title, Unresolved Issues. And so because they have these unresolved issues, their marriage early on goes into some really, really tough situations. And so this is their story, how they work through that and get back together. And so those are the titles that I have here in front of me. I do have I'm thinking sometimes I lose count. I know there's also Liberation, there's Kayla's Redemption, and my very first novel, First Sunday in October as well. Those are some other titles that I have. And Games, which is only available on ebook. Mm-hmm.
Okay. How did you choose the genre you're in?
Well, I think it kind of chose me because, again, I grew up in church. I am a minister, and let's see, how do I say this? I grew up, sometimes when you grow up in the church, you kind of get this narrow view, and you don't really know what else is out there in the world because your life is so immersed into the church. And then sometimes when that happens, you don't really get the deliverance you need, because sometimes the church can say, we pray about so many things, which there's nothing wrong with prayer, but sometimes we need to deal with some stuff. And so I was a victim of that, right? I went through a very traumatic experience, and I really needed to deal with it, right? And so when I got healed from that situation, I started writing to help other people. As I say, just let's be truth about it. We're not we don't feel highly blessed and favored every day of the week. So we do go through things, and things do knock us down, and we do hurt. And so I started writing so that, yeah, we love Jesus, but we are regular people as well, and we do have regular problems, but let's not just stay there and hide it and act like we don't, but let's deal with it. Let's get it out and let's deal with it. So that's how I began writing. I didn't start out to write books. I just started writing a story, and it just developed into that. But the genre was never an issue. If I would always probably write this, I'm not a sci-fi person. I'm, erotica, all that stuff. This wouldn't work for me. But I like good stories, and I like triumph stories. I like to see people go through stuff, and I like to see them come out. So that's how I started writing.
Okay. Where do you get your ideas from?
Life. As like a life, and you could probably in every one of these stories, there's a part of me in here. You could, if people who really know me, they say, "Ah, that's you," right? But life situations, and also again, I've dealt with couples ministry. My husband and I for years, so relationship things I have seen and some experience. And with the youth, I have, seen and experienced. I do have 3 adult children, so I've, seen a lot of things. But it's just real life stuff. I don't like the fluffy stuff. I like, let's deal with the real life stuff that people are dealing with and falling from, and helping them get over it.
Okay. What do you consider to be your best accomplishments thus far?
Literary wise?
Yes.
Ironically, my best accomplishments are really what I've seen others succeed in doing from my help. I do a lot of mentoring, a lot of coaching, and I'm so excited. In fact, tomorrow, one of the young gentlemen that we inspired to start writing again, his story that I published in the anthology just last year will be a stage play tomorrow. So I'm so excited for him.
Wow.
Yeah, I have helped people write their memoirs that have gotten national recognition and things like that. If seeing people really fulfill their dreams, that's what I consider to be my biggest accomplishment. And when readers say, "Oh, this story helped me get over this," that's what I consider to be my biggest accomplishment.
Okay. What inspires?
I didn't hear the last part.
What inspires you to write?
That's the strangest thing. I write the best after I had the biggest pain. So I truly write when I'm in pain. It's therapy for me. Mm-hmm. But when I get there, it just flows. It's really amazing how that works. So when I'm going through a big trial here, someone says, "Okay, here's another story coming," or two, right? But yeah, it's really I don't know why God did that to me, but yeah, I write from a place of pain.
Okay. How do you feel about reviews?
Giving reviews or receiving reviews?
Both.
I think reviews are very important. Mm-hmm. I think, first of all, as an author, you have to prepare yourself for reviews because not everybody will like your book. And I said, I know as a lot of authors, we think our book is for everybody and they're going to like it, and that's not the case. So I think if you're going to be the recipient of a review, you should be prepared to get an honest review, and don't take it so personal. I used to do a lot of reviews for people when I had a lot of time to read other people's stuff. I like encouraging writers to continue. And if it's a good story, I'll tell everybody about it, whether or not I'll do a written review or not. But I think they're very, very important. I just think a lot of times we think they're always going to be great, and they're not. But I think they're very necessary. It does help get your book out. It does help promote your book. And not so much you, but the story itself. If you have a good story that can help people, it's a way to do that.
Okay. What has been the hardest thing about writing?
My hardest thing is probably finding the time to just write uninterrupted. The ideas don't fail. The brain keeps going. Sometimes I got to make it turn off. But now that I'm also a college student, finding time to just write like I want to write, that's my hardest thing right now.
Okay. What do you do when you're not writing?
When I'm not writing? Mm-hmm. Well, okay, so when I'm not working, not mentoring, not in school, I love reading. I love to travel. I love spending time with my grandkids. And just, I'm learning to just relax. In my last trip, I actually sat by the pool, and people couldn't believe you're sitting by the pool doing nothing, because that's not something I would do. Mm-hmm. But I'm learning to relax and just enjoy it. Mm-hmm. I love baseball and basketball.
Basketball?
And baseball, yes.
Baseball.
Well, and football too. I watch football too, but yeah. I like sports, okay?
What What is your role in the writing community?
My role in the writing community, I never thought about that. I'm not sure I have a role in the writing community. I would like for my role to be uh, to help people get a closer relationship with God. I would think that would be my role. That's the whole purpose of my story. It's entertainment writing for me, but it's also ministry as well.
Yes.
So I hope I would be one of the writers of what I consider real Christian fiction, writing that really exemplifies what it is when we say we're a Christ follower, and not to sensationalize it. So yeah, I hope that's a role I would play, and then to encourage others to keep writing.
Yes. What made you become a writer?
Well, it just kind of happened. Like I said, I never aspired to be one. I've been an avid reader forever. As a kid, I used to read to escape. And so in 2005 was a very, very traumatic year for me. It was one of those years like, oh my God, if God don't snatch me out, I'm about to fall under, right? And at the end of that year, part of that deliverance process, I just started writing. And by the middle of the next year, I had 6 full manuscripts. I just started writing and kept writing. And I began writing, and I just thought, I'm just going to write this little story that's in my head. And I would have my girlfriends just read, what do you think of this chapter? What is this? And they were like, oh, where's the rest? Where's the rest? And eventually that became my first novel, First Sunday in October. And I still didn't know what to do with it. And went to a workshop. One of my favorite writers is Kendra Norman Holmes. And I went to a workshop that she held in Atlanta, and I thought, I could put this in print, right? And so I did, and that's just at the same time I was in the short story, The Midnight Clear, that she published. And then she had a Cruise and Cook Rice, 2007, where there was a short story contest, and I just entered 1,000 words, really didn't know what I was going to do. And I ended up winning the contest, and it was a publishing contract with Urban Christian. I didn't have the rest of the book. Anyway, that came to be Illusions. That's how Illusions got started. So from there, it just kept on going. So I never said, oh, gee, I'm going to become a writer now. That didn't happen. It just started, things just fell into place. So.
All right. Yeah. What projects are you working on right now?
Right now, I have 2 works in progress. My story, Kayla's Redemption, I'm working on a sequel to that. And I'm also working on re-releasing some of my previous titles that I have with a different publisher. And I'm also in the process of starting writing the full novel to my latest short stories, which appeared in the Love Inspired series, Lasting Impression, and Eyes Wide Shut. So those, I'm working on, I've never worked on 3 projects at once. I'm usually one at a time. So, but my goal is to get at least one of those out next year.
How can readers get in touch with you?
Well, my website is wandabcampbell.com. That's WANDABCAMPBELL.com. That is my website. And you can email me through there. I'm also on Facebook. I have a Facebook group, Wanda B. Campbell Readers and Supporters. And you can always email me or message me. And I love hearing from readers, and I respond to every email myself.
All right. Is there anything you would like to add before we leave?
No, other than, I appreciate the opportunity to speak to your followers. And I encourage everybody to keep reading. Those who think they want to write, just start. You never know. That's how I started. I just picked up a pad and started writing. And be true to yourself. Find your voice and be true to who you are. And stick to it.
Well, I want to thank you for coming in today and gracing us with your presence. Thank you for your time and your craft. And again, this is Queenie Clem with Queenie's Book Talk and Reviews. Happy reading. Bye.
Bye-bye.